What I really want to do, just getting this thing started off, I just need some permission from each and every one of you, because I'm going to be talking to you from my head and heart to your head and heart. And I may say some things that may seem offensive. That's not my intention whatsoever. I just don't want to be muzzled today. I want to really get this across to each and every one of you, because what we have our hands on is what all of us over the years, I don't care what you've been involved in the past, is exactly what we have been looking for. And so if I have your permission, allow me to proceed. I know a lot of you have been wondering what's going on with crowd and things of that nature, and what's going on with Co-op 50/50. I want to address that before we go right into the meat of what crowd is all about. One of the things I love about David T. Rosen is that he's never shut his doors down on any business that he's created, nor will he do Co-op 50/50. For those of you that understand the power of Co-op 50/50 like we did, I mean, I thought it was the best thing cooking when I got involved. And we saw so many people around the world winning, but it wasn't the best. It was good, but it wasn't the best until he introduced Co-op Crowd. And I'm going to talk about that here for each and every one of you. But for those of you that are still holding on to Co-op 50/50, we have recordings, we have tools. You can continue to do that. But I promise you, once you understand what crowd is all about, you'll transition over to what we have going on. The way in which I look at Co-op 50/50 is this. It was like an SUV that did heavy lifting, got the job done, had good gas mileage, but it didn't have the best gas mileage, if you will. And what crowd is bringing to the table is reoccurring residual component, which allows each and every one of us to breathe a little bit easier, because it gives us a sense of certainty in these uncertain times. So, and what it's powered by is solar power, and it's a play on words, SOULAR, the soul of the global community. And with that kind of power, there is no stopping us. It's unlimited, and that's why we're going to change the world together. And this is no hype. I'm here to tell you guys, this is the best thing smoking. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quickly, and we're going to jump right into this thing, because I want you guys to understand that this is absolutely mind-boggling what we're doing here, okay? Here's the deal. A global problem requires a global solution, and Co-op Crowd is that solution, family. I want you guys to understand, when you look at what David talked about in terms of the Internet of Things and technology and what it's put us in this moment in time to truly self-actualize like never before in human history. And I know some of you have been looking at, the television. You've seen 2 billionaires that have gone up into space, and they're basically ushering in space travel. Who would have thought that we would be around today to see human beings going up into space other than astronauts? But here's what I want you guys to understand, in my humble opinion, is that I'd rather see 100 million people around the world having their monthly expenses taken care of, 100 million people around the world where we eradicate poverty. And so what Co-op Crowd is going to do is going to make what these 2 billionaires did pale in comparison. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is the Co-op Crowd revolution. And for those of you that have been involved in marketing over the years, you've heard a lot of different companies out here that promised but never delivered. One of the things that I can assure you, if we do what we're designed to do, Co-op Crowd will deliver more than you can even imagine. It reminds me of the Roger Bannister story, when prior to him coming along in 1954, it was thought it was humanly impossible to run a sub 4-minute mile. He comes along and he does it. And from that day forward, there's been thousands, tens of thousands of people who've run a sub 4-minute mile, including high school kids. And what I'm getting ready to tell you guys is what Co-op Crowd is going to do is going to break that kind of mentality, that there's not a company out there that can help save this planet. We are the tip of the spear, and that's what Co-op Crowd is really all about. We're talking about $1 a day, okay? $1 a day can keep the bill collectors away. And I'm going to break this thing down for each and every one of you here real quickly. Now, there's maybe some guests on the line. I know there's some people who come from a marketing background. They may be looking at this for the very first time. I want you guys to understand how powerful this is. This is the strategy that we're going to be laying out here for each and every one of you. And so we're talking about 3 for 33 days at $1 a day. In other words, You register and become an active donor, which most of you are already a registered donor. Then you help 3 people within 3 days who want to live a debt-free, a stress-free, and a financially free life. And then you teach them to help 3 as well. And you do that for 33 days, and your life will be completely different. I'm going to also be giving you guys some scripts as well that you can share with people, because we have a 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time corporate overview on the Co-op Crowd that we're going to knock out the park. And I'm going to charge each and every one of you to get on the horn after this training and get as many people as you know and love in front of this information, because we have lives to save. So let me go ahead and break this thing down for each and every one of you here real quickly. It's 3, 3, and 33. So in days 1 through 3, what you're talking about here is identifying at least 3 people who want to live debt-free, stress-free, financially free lives. And you're talking about a $26 per month reoccurring or residual donation that's taking place there. At that moment in time, the genius of this is that your monthly donation, subscription donation portion is absolutely free, because $26 is more than the $25. Now, let me rewind here real quickly, because there's some new people on here. We go ahead and take $84 up front. That's 3 months subscription. That's $25 times 3, which is $75, plus there's a $3 hosting fee. So that's where the $84 comes from, all right? So now in days 4 through 6, you teach those 3 to identify their 3. So 3 and 9 is 12 active donors that you have on your second level, and your residual or reoccurring donations on a month-to-month basis is $38 on that level alone. Now you've unlocked the bonuses, which will take your residual donations through the roof, through the stratosphere at that moment in time. This is it right here. If each and every one of you identify your 3 or more and teach those 3 or more to identify their 3 or more, you can sit back and relax and duplicate that process, and you are done. Watch your money grow, literally. Now, here's what I want you guys to see here. In days 7 through 9, you have a total of 39 active donors, and you have $87 in residual reoccurring donations. Days 10 through 12, you have 120 active donors, and your residual donations is $249. In days 13 through 15, your residual or reoccurring donations is $538. In days 16 through 18, you have a total of 1,092 donors, and your residual is $1,791, all from a $25 donation. But here's the deal. At this moment in time, each and every one of you, within 16 to 18 days, when executing this game plan, you have $1,791. Here's what you do. Upgrade to the $250 subscription based platform as well at that moment in time. And this is when you 10x your reoccurring residual donations, because all you want to do is add a 0 to the existing donations that you have. So think about this for a moment. With those same 3 people, it went from $26 to $260 in reoccurring donations. Then you have 380, 870, just add a 0. Here you have $17,910 in reoccurring donations. Now, your $84, your $25 matrix, which is a 3x10 matrix, is still going to be going. But now you've opened up a second matrix on the $250 subscription that is also going independently yet simultaneously, because you're going to be having your donors follow you. Now, let's keep it moving forward, and I just want to focus on the 25 moving forward. So in days 19 through 21, now you have a total of 32, a little bit over 3,200 donors, but now your reoccurring donations is $4,183. The genius in this is that now 90% of the global population's monthly expenses are covered. I want you guys to really think about what we're doing here with Co-op Crowd. We're talking about an $84 upfront subscription at $1 a day, which allows most people on this planet to participate, and we can show them how to split that up and get to a place where each and every person on this planet can get to that mark right there. And we're talking about eradicating 90% of people's expenses on a monthly basis. People, that is mind-boggling when you think about that. Now, let's keep it moving forward here. On days 22 through 24, you're talking a little bit over $10,000 per month in recurring donations. And we're going to go all the way down to days 28 through 30. You're at $175,589 in residual recurring donations. And then days 31 through 33, you're close to $1 million in residual donations. But I know David has a trick up his sleeve. It's actually more than that. But here's this thing. We like to underpromise and over-deliver. So when you guys look at this process here, as great as 50-50 is, like I said, it's good, but it doesn't have the best gas mileage because it's like hit and miss. All right. The thing that I want you guys to understand is that what David's put in place and what I love about what he did, even with 50-50, not closing the doors because there may be a lull in production, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of company owners out there that the moment that there's a lull in production, because they convince people to part ways with their money because they promised you 2% daily, okay? The moment they see their eyes and they see the numbers starting to slow down, they shut down the website and they run off with the money. Not David T. Rosen because of his transparency. And I'm gonna talk about that here more momentarily because I know there's a lot of people that's looking for a home. And I have an interesting perspective because not only am I in the field, but I'm on the corporate side. So my feet are planted on both sides of the fence, and I'm going to share with you guys that perspective here momentarily. But when you guys look at this, who gets 3 for 33 days duplicated at $1 a day can effectuate the kind of global change that everyone on this planet so desperately needs. And so when I talk about hope for a hurting world, that's what Co-op Crowd is going to be able to do. Can you imagine the donations flowing through this entire planet synergistically in a mutually beneficial way? I am jacked to the highest jackticity. Now, let's move forward with this thing. I'm going to give you guys a script or two. Make your own words. I'm not the biggest person when it comes to script. I like to be very, very natural and authentic. And so put it in any way that you want to put it into when you're talking to people that you know and love. So here's one for you that you can talk to people about. If I can show you and a few friends how to turn $1 a day into $4,000 every month for the rest of your life, would you be interested? I want you guys to think about that for a moment. And I've already started testing this out just in passing conversations. And I can't tell you how many people said, hey, can you rewind that? What do you mean $1 a day and it can take care of my monthly expenses? I'm telling you guys, if you offer that pitch to people and they don't bite and they're not interested in taking time to look at some information, you need to lose their number quickly. Okay. So once again, if I can show you and a few friends how to turn $1 a day into $4,000 every month for the rest of your life, would you be interested? Here's another one that you can use. If I can show you and a few friends how to meet your monthly bills every month just for $1 a day, would you be willing to take a look? If I can show you and a few friends how to meet your monthly bills every month for just $1 a day, would you be willing to take a look? People who would say no to that, who's really serious about living a better quality of life? Nobody. Here's another one, a very, very simple one. And let me go back here because I want you guys to take a snapshot for those of you that are looking at this. Go ahead and take a picture of this because you need to be using this today, okay? Here's another one for you. What's your monthly household overhead? You give a friend a call. You know, hey, I'm just so excited. I need to ask you a very simple question. What's your monthly household overhead? And they tell you whatever it may be. Here's your simple reply, family. Fill in the blank, my cousin, my friend, my coworker, my pastor, okay, a stranger. Just introduce me to a cooperative where people are covering all of their monthly expenses for just $1 a day. When will you have 10 to 15 minutes? Or invite them to a live overview. Keep it very, very simple. My friend, my cousin, my father, my coworker, my pastor, a stranger, it doesn't matter. Just introduce me to a cooperative where people are covering all of their monthly expenses for just $1 a day. When will you have 10 to 15 minutes to look at a recorded overview or invite them to an overview? People, one of the things that I love about Co-op Crowd, it's like a sports car. You have to be lean and mean and light on your feet. Money loves speed. And in our process, duplication is so paramount. And so it's very, very important that we can duplicate. We have to remove the stickiness in the conveyor belt so that we can help a lot of people in this process. And it has to be something that the masses can do. I had a mentor of mine tell me a long time ago, he said, Greg, in order to dine with the classes, you have to appeal to the masses. There is nothing on this planet right now that appeals to the masses more than Co-op Crowd. So let's get with the crowd. Now, some people are going to ask you, well, what's a cooperative? Funny you should ask. Here's a couple things that you can simply reply with. A financial initiative or project that is, in quotations, owned by its members. Now, why do I say owned by its members? Because we get 100% of the donations. It doesn't move unless the community gives it the soul that it needs to move forward to effectuate the global change that we're looking for. It's a financial initiative or project that is owned by its members. Another one, a global funding community that is owned by its members. When we got 10 to 15 minutes to look at some information or invite them to a live conference. And when they come to the overview, we are literally going to show them how for $1 a day and a few friends, they can eliminate their monthly expenses to a mathematical certainty. It's just a matter of execution. So here's what I want you guys to look at when you look at what our cooperative is all about, because I know a lot of people think, oh, this is just like MLM or network marketing or any other thing, and it's not. I need for you guys to understand what cooperatives are doing. When you look at the job over here, you see that center dot? It's looking down, all right? So it's looking down and all those dots around it. So it's a pyramidal structure. Same thing with MLM, that's decentralized, okay? Those dots are independent pyramidal structures. Cooperatives, the beautiful thing about cooperatives is that it's about the project that we have, the Co-op Crowd. It's flattening the corporate pyramidal structure and redistributing wealth around this planet like it's never been done before. This is ingenious. There's never been this before. So when you look at the fact that every donation helps 10 people, in Co-op 50/50, it helped 2. In Co-op Crowd, it's 10. Every donation effectuates the global community worldwide. So when you look at this distribution of wealth, because right now, whether you guys realize it or not, we are right now in the middle of the greatest transference of wealth in human history. And I know a lot of people may not realize that, but I'm telling you, the bubble's going to bust, and you want to be in a place where you have enough cash reserve to be able to purchase discounted assets. More on that later. But we are a different animal. And for $1 a day, help 3. Teach those 3 to help 3 at $1 a day. And we're talking about eradicating poverty worldwide. So once again, here are the very simple steps that we simply do. We give, we share, and we receive. And once you help your 3 or more, your monthly donation or subscription of your donation is free. Plus, once your 3 help 3, it unlocks your unlimited bonuses residually towards your cause. See, what David T. Rosen could have done, like some MLM companies do, and I'm not here to knock MLM because many of you know I cut my teeth in that industry, is that he could have put an obstacle course in place. He could have put volume here. You're going to have this many people here, and it would have made it a lot challenging for the average person to hit those goals to unlock unlimited bonuses. But he kept it very, very straightforward and simple. So the 3 steps that we all have to do is register and become an active donor, which most of you on this line have already done. And if you haven't, you need to get in crowd ASAP. For those of you that are still doing 50/50 and you're brand new, I get it. We understand. And we understand how people don't like change, but we want to put each and every one of you in the best position. You can still do Co-op 50/50. You can still go ahead and do the 25 on the 50/50, the 29.99, and get involved in crowd as well until you transition over completely on crowd. Step number 2, help 3 people register and become an active donor. Help 3 people who for $1 a day and a few friends can become debt-free, stress-free, and financially free people, and then teach duplication, and then you're done. Those are the 3 steps that anybody with a pulse on this planet can do. And what's next? Watch your money grow. The unfortunate thing is this, and this is what hurts my heart more than anything, is that I see this thing clear as water. But a lot of people bring their baggage to the table. They look at this with squinty eyes because you've been beat up from the feet up. You know, you've been involved in pump and dump. So you've had owners that didn't fulfill their promise. I'm here to tell you, you got to wipe the slate clean. It reminds me of that one of my favorite movies. It's called Instinct. And Anthony Hopkins, he's one of my favorite actors. And I'm not going to go into detail, but a scene in the movie, there was a mountain gorilla in the zoo in a cage, and the door was open. And the mountain gorilla didn't run for freedom. And Anthony Hopkins turned to the guy and said, he's not going to run for freedom because his will has been broken to the point that even though the doors of freedom have been opened, he won't go for it. And I know a lot of you on this line, you may feel that way. And I'm here to tell you the law of life is the law of belief. As the Creator is my witness, go for it. All right. You got to go ahead. The gates of freedom have been open. Myself and David have many conversations about what's going on. Sometimes his frustration as an owner comes from the fact that he's given us the master key and we're not taking advantage of it because we're bringing baggage to the table. No more from this day forward. Co-op Crowd is the global solution. So we have all green lights, people. I mean, that literally. I mean, we're talking about all green lights. The lane is flat. There's no hills here. There's no road construction. Okay, we have the Bugatti of opportunities. Put the pedal to the metal, stop pumping your brakes here. So let's go ahead and some talking points here. Where your attention goes, energy flows, all right? Whatever you think about, you bring about. What should your attention be on? And who controls your attention? It's 100% your responsibility. Nobody else can control where you put your attention on. If you're busy putting your attention on, well, the PowerPoint didn't dot the I there. There was misspelling here. I don't like the way Greg talks. I don't like the way Isaac Moody talks. I don't like the way this or that. Then all you're doing is making excuses. All right. That's not where our attention should be. As a global community, there are so many people out here hurting. You guys saw on Wednesday, Lynn Cave poured her heart out. Maya Campbell talked about coming back to Detroit, Michigan on her knuckles, asked her family for 2 years to get on her feet, and she stayed 8, and then Co-op changed her life. And that's just 2 examples of thousands of examples around the world. But guess what? There's 100 million people out there that need to understand what it is that we're doing. We don't have time to nitpick, because here's what I want you guys to understand. A mentor shared this with me many years ago. He said, listen, Greg, he said, the ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. And when he said it to me back then, I really didn't understand that. But as you mature and you live enough life, you begin to understand how powerful those words are. The ability to observe without judgment is the highest form of intelligence. Nobody on this line is perfect. No one on this line is infallible. But I'll tell you this Co-op Crowd is damn near close. And all it takes is for us to feed it with our belief level and really share from our heart. If you're really serious about effectuating change worldwide, we're going to see. Otherwise, it's just lip service. So we got to get busy with this program in order to hit the mark, in order to effectuate the kind of change that we want. So I had some leaders call me about what's going on with, the back office relative to We Prove It Free. We're not going to talk about that today, okay? We're going to be making updates there. Those are like enhancements to a car. And once those things get done, trust me, we're going to go ahead and do a training on that. And it's going to basically give you a turbocharge to your marketing efforts. But that's not the focus. You don't need that to pick up the phone and ask a handful of people if they want to figure out how for $1 a day they can take care of their monthly expenses. You don't need a marketing tool for that. You just need a heart to do that. Now, let's talk about transparency. We talk about all green lights. I'm going to speak about a couple things. I want to talk about more specifically David T. Rose in here. For a lot of people, he comes across as abrasive. Maybe some people think he's a prick. Yes, I said it. And one of the things I can say is that, yeah, sometimes he is. All right. And I got a perspective being on both sides of the field. Because when we have conversations with him and I have moved a lot of furniture around intellectually. We've gone at it. You guys have no idea what goes on behind the scenes when you're building a multi-billion-dollar company and you're looking to help 100 million or more people around the planet. There's going to be some furniture movings. There's going to be some hurt feelings that take place. But once again, what I look at is his heart and his intentions. Does he need to make some apologies to some people? In my opinion, he does. Okay. Maybe I have to do the exact same thing. Maybe some of you have to do the exact same thing, ask for forgiveness or apologize. But we got to clear the air and understand we have all green lights. We talk about company owners. All right. Here he is on screen, his background of his penthouse. His grandkids sometimes be there, on screen, his granddaughter, his daughter. If he was the type of owner that was going to be a part of a pump and dump and take the money and run, you think that he would be that wide open and showing his home? No, I have his address. I'm here to tell you, he's been doing this for 20 years. So even if you go online and Google and hear all the MLM and all the stuff that you hear out there, I guarantee you, if people did enough investigation, they can find something on YouTube. So we got to understand the transparency is here. That's why I have it in all caps. But can you handle the truth? The numbers are there. We have all green lights. The ownership is there. The leadership team is there. It's just now time to go to work, you guys. So your roadmap to being debt-free, stress-free, financially free has been laid out for each and every one of you. 3 and 3 for 33 days, duplicating that process with unwavering belief, unwavering at $1 a day. And as I begin to wrap this thing up, one of the things I want you guys to understand once again is that there's going to come a time when there's going to be a financial tsunami that's going to hit this planet. It really is going to happen. All right. They're pumping a lot of money into this deal. And I'm not going to get political. David said, don't get political. And I'm not going to do that. But what I will tell you guys is this. Use Co-op Crowd to build up your cash reserve. Once you get to a place of becoming financially free because your monthly responsibilities are well taken care of, use Co-op Crowd to build up your reserves, because I'm here to tell you there's going to be a lot of discounted assets for those of you smart enough to take heed to my word. And as a global community, guess what? We can go ahead and clean up shop together. So I'm flat out excited. Once again, we have all green lights. We are the global solution to a global problem. We are, each and every one of you, and myself included, we're a part of history. I can care less about 2 billionaires flying up into space, all right? I want the world to see Co-op Crowd as the initiative that we are to effectuate global change. We are a hope for a hurting world, and I'm flat out excited and committed and honored to be doing this with each and every one of you. But now it's no more excuses. All excuses are equal, because David T. Rosen has laid out a plan and put together a system that anyone with a pulse can have success. And as I wrap this thing up and I turn it over to a few leaders here, this is what Roger Bannister also said. However ordinary each of us may seem, we are all in some way special, can do things that are extraordinary, perhaps until then, even thought impossible. And I believe that's the exact same thing with Co-op Crowd. People, we're going to make history. We are making history. Over 1 million people come September 1st. So it begins today. Getting on the phone, sharing from your heart, utilizing those peak interest scripts that I gave you from your heart, and getting people in front of the information. And I promise you, will make the kind of global change that we also desperately deserve and need.